All right.
I guess it was the 4th, January 4th, when we got his MRI back. The first MRI, actually first CT and MRI. Oh, sorry, first CT. They said that he had days, if that, to live. So we called the whole family in, and then they performed an MRI on him the next day, and the very next day they did an MRI on him. And later on that evening, the neurologist came in and said that, it looks better than we thought. Mm-hmm. And so he said he'll probably just be a vegetable for the rest of his life.
Jamie has a second electrical circuit in his heart, or had a second electrical circuit in his heart called Wilks-Parkinson-White syndrome. But they never knew that he had it because he never had an EKG test, which is the only way that you can really tell. And so over Christmas break of this year, just like a few weeks before he would have been going into the Navy, he had a heart attack. And from the point that he hit the ground from his heart attack to the point that he got to the hospital and got oxygen, he had no oxygen going to his brain. When I found out, I had no idea that anything had even happened to Aiden and Morgan's brother. Like, they held themselves together so well, but we knew that we wanted to do something to help them.
Super zoomed in.
Don't get that alone. Oh my god!
Teamwork.
How they are affected, like how our project affected them and helped them.
Well, I think a lot of it was because they didn't want, like, they tried not to make it a big deal.
Yeah, like, no one really knew. Like, we would tell some of our, like, friends that they heard about it, and they were like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so I think what it did was it just had them know that someone was listening to them, and knowing that someone was helping you through a time of crisis, and especially since their dad had just moved to Afghanistan and they weren't going to see him for a year or so. Like, I feel like love in this situation takes a big toll, just because knowing that someone wants to help you in the most way they can, I feel like that's a great feeling. Is it recording? Okay.
It's recording, right?
Yes, the light's on. Okay, so really how it affected us, and I guess I'm going to speak for both of us when I say, or I guess I do speak for both of us when I say this, that after, like, we had saw them the first night at the hospital, me and Claire, on the way home, we were actually in the car by ourselves, and it was just kind of like it was just kind of an emotional part, because we had just seen something, and we weren't expecting it to be that sad when we went in there, but just seeing how strong their family was, and seeing the position Jamie was in, like how he was unresponsive, and you could tell he was there.
Morgan, he's looking at you.
He's looking at Morgan.
Wooden floors. chairs won't buy all the cars.
It is eyes down.
This is a place where I don't feel alone.
Now that Jamie's in rehabilitation, we're trying to spread the word about getting EKG tests and make EKG tests more common to test for rare heart syndromes such as Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. And we're also trying to make it more common for people to be CPR certified so that if somebody does have a heart attack like Jamie, they can help as much as possible.
You sing a song with me? Yes? You ready? Yeah. Okay, let's sing a song. You're gonna sing with me.
I can't
Sing happy birthday for Macaulay.
Yeah, Macaulay's birthday is tomorrow.
Happy birthday for Macaulay's birthday is tomorrow.
Macaulay's birthday.
Happy birthday. Good idea, right?
You record that? You record that?
He's doing better. He is a miracle. They did not expect him to live, and then today he's telling me that he's tired. I'm tired, Mom. So.
I'm Claire Moore, and I support Jamie Walker in the fight against Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome.
I'm Cristobal Macias, and I support Jamie Walker in the fight against Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome.
Jamie Walker in the fight against Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome.
I'm Jackie Jacoby, and I support Jamie Walker in the fight against Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome.
I'm Macaulay Gabe, and I support Jamie Walker in the fight against Wolff-Parkinson's-White syndrome.
Okay, I'm Shannon Shipley, and I support Jamie Walker in the fight against Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome.
We'll be together for all times. You've got the Beach Boys, and your friends got the Stones.
Around to blow me